Welcome to Episode 20, Patch and Vulnerability Essentials for E1, where we explore how disciplined patching directly reduces the risk of breaches. Every year, attackers exploit well-known flaws that already have fixes available but remain uninstalled. E1 emphasizes this category because it turns security from theory into measurable action. A patch is simply a vendor-provided update that corrects errors or closes security holes. When applied on time, it can stop attackers from exploiting outdated systems. Think of patching as regular maintenance on a bridge. It may seem routine, but skipping it leads to cracks that grow silently until failure. A mature patch and vulnerability program proves that an organization not only knows its weaknesses, but also addresses them with predictable speed and evidence. An accurate inventory of assets, software, and versions is the foundation of all patching activity. You cannot fix what you cannot see. E1 requires organizations to know which systems exist, what operating systems they run, and which applications they contain. This visibility lets teams match vulnerability alerts to real devices instead of guessing. For example, if a vendor announces a flaw in a specific browser version, a complete inventory immediately reveals how many endpoints are at risk. Tools that automatically collect and reconcile this data make the process more reliable. Even a simple list can suffice if it is updated regularly and used consistently. Maintaining this inventory connects patching to real-world scope rather than assumptions or incomplete reports. A risk-based patching policy defines how quickly updates must be applied based on the severity of the vulnerability and the importance of the system. E1 expects clear timelines, often expressed in days, for critical, high, medium, and low risks. This prevents debates and delays once a patch becomes available. For instance, a critical operating system patch might have a 7-day target, while a low-risk utility fix might allow 30. The policy should describe how exceptions are handled, who approves them, and how compliance is measured. Risk-based patching balances urgency with practicality, focusing attention where impact is greatest. Without such guidance, teams tend to overreact to minor issues or overlook major ones. Third-party application updates matter just as much, even though they are often forgotten. Many breaches begin through vulnerable browsers, document readers, or collaboration tools. E1 extends its expectations to these programs because they represent the outer layer users touch most. Managing their updates can be harder since release cycles vary and vendors use different delivery methods. Centralized patch management tools can help by aggregating and automating these updates. For example, ensuring that all systems run the latest browser version closes multiple web-based attack paths. Documentation should reflect coverage across both operating systems and third-party software, demonstrating that the organization's defenses do not end at the desktop boundary. Firmware and driver updates address the lowest layers of system operation, often below the operating system. These components control hardware functions and can contain security flaws that persist even after system reinstallation. E1 recognizes that firmware patching is less frequent but still essential, especially for devices like firewalls, routers, and storage arrays. For instance, a network card driver update might fix a flaw allowing remote code execution. Organizations should document their approach, whether updates occur quarterly, during maintenance windows, or when vendors issue advisories. The key is predictable attention, not perfection. Ignoring firmware is like ignoring the foundation of a building, unseen but crucial for stability and assurance. Vulnerability scanning provides the objective data behind every patching decision. E1 requires authenticated and regular scans of systems, meaning the scanner logs in to check actual patch levels rather than relying only on open ports or banners. Authenticated scanning detects deeper misconfigurations and missing updates with far greater accuracy. For example, a credentialed scan might reveal an outdated library version invisible from the network. Running these scans on a consistent schedule, such as monthly or quarterly, ensures visibility between patch cycles. Results must be reviewed, tracked, and compared over time to show progress. Without scanning, patch management becomes guesswork. With it, organizations gain verifiable insight. Prioritization using severity and exploitability transforms scan results into action. Not all vulnerabilities carry equal risk, and one expects organizations to distinguish between them. Severity ratings such as critical or high guide urgency, while exploitability indicators reveal whether attackers are actively using a flaw. For instance, a medium severity issue under active exploitation may deserve faster response than a critical one that is purely theoretical. Prioritization helps limited teams focus their effort where it matters most. Documenting how these factors influence decisions shows auditors that the process is reasoned, not arbitrary. It also helps communicate clearly with leadership about which issues require immediate attention. Exceptions to patching deadlines are sometimes necessary, but must be documented carefully. In E1, exceptions require formal justification, approval, and expiration dates. For example, a legacy system supporting a key business process may not accept a required update without breaking functionality. In such cases, compensating controls, like network isolation or additional monitoring, should be applied until the patch can be installed. The expiration date ensures that exceptions do not become permanent blind spots. Reviewers often check that expired exceptions are closed or renewed properly. This practice demonstrates both accountability and control, showing that the organization treats unpatched systems as temporary risks, not permanent fixtures. Remediation, verification, and rescans confirm that patches were successfully applied. Installing updates is only half the process. Verifying their effect completes the loop. E1 expects organizations to rescan systems after remediation and compare results to the original findings. If vulnerabilities persist, they must be investigated and resolved. For example, a failed installation might report success in logs but still leave the system exposed. Scheduled rescans also demonstrate consistency over time, turning patch management into an ongoing rhythm rather than a one-time cleanup. Verification data forms one of the strongest pieces of evidence an auditor can review, showing that problems are identified, addressed, and confirmed closed. Metrics, service levels, and reporting provide the quantitative view of patching performance. E1 encourages organizations to define key measures such as mean time to remediate, percentage of systems up to date, and number of outstanding high-risk issues. These metrics allow leadership to see trends and identify bottlenecks. For instance, if remediation times increase after staffing changes, reports will highlight the delay. Regular dashboards or summaries also help maintain transparency between technical teams and management. Consistent reporting turns patch management into a measurable service, not an invisible chore. It also provides auditors with a clear, data-driven picture of program health across time. Change control linkage ensures that patching integrates safely into broader IT processes. Updates often modify system behavior, so they must follow documented change management steps to prevent outages or conflicts. E1 links patching to change control to show that updates are reviewed, tested, and approved appropriately. For example, a critical patch applied directly to production servers without testing might cause more harm than good. By coordinating with change control, organizations ensure stability while maintaining speed. Evidence of this linkage, such as ticket numbers or approval logs, proves that patching is both secure and responsible. It also shows that different governance functions operate cohesively rather than in isolation. Evidence for patch and vulnerability management commonly includes scan exports, ticket records, and remediation reports. Reviewers look for data showing vulnerabilities before and after fixes, along with documentation of timelines and approvals. Screenshots of management consoles or summary charts can reinforce that the process is active and monitored. The best evidence tells a complete story: discovery, prioritization, action, and verification. Gathering this material continuously rather than at assessment time builds credibility and reduces last-minute work. E1 values proof of control in motion, a system that not only finds problems but also demonstrates steady progress toward closure. Timely, prioritized vulnerability management reflects an organization's ability to learn and adapt. When teams know their assets, measure their risk, and act predictably, they create resilience that goes beyond compliance. Every patch applied and every exception tracked is evidence of intention and care. In E1, this category proves that the organization understands the connection between maintenance and security outcomes. A strong patching program does not chase perfection. It aims for consistency and accountability. Over time, that rhythm of discovery, repair, and verification becomes the heartbeat of operational assurance.